A week ago, I, Mia, age 25, celebrated my marriage to William, who is 29. Our romance began 4 years prior at a local coffee shop where I frequented for my essential morning caffeine. It was just another day until William, who stood behind me in line, caught my attention with his kind eyes. At first, I didn't pay much mind, focused solely on grabbing my latte. However, fate had other plans as we bumped into each other again later that week. This time, we struck up a conversation while waiting for our orders, sharing laughs and stories about everything from our favorite books to memorable childhood moments. As we continued to meet, going on dates and exploring places like museums and trails, I realized William was truly special. His humor, intelligence, and supportive nature were evident, and he had a way of making me feel wholly comfortable and cherished. On our second anniversary, William proposed during a romantic getaway to a charming mountain cabin, complete with a snowfall and a cozy fireplace setting. Our engagement marked a joyful time, but it also introduced me to his mother, Sophia, for the first time. Initially, Sophia was incredibly welcoming, expressing her excitement about having a daughter-in-law since William was her only child. She seemed thrilled to expand her family. However, her demeanor changed when she visited us to help with wedding planning. What started as a promising bonding opportunity soured as her comments became increasingly passive-aggressive, dampening the mood of our interactions. The situation escalated on our wedding day when, unbeknownst to me, Sophia spiked my drink. The effects were immediate and severe. I fainted, and the reception was utterly ruined. In the aftermath, Sophia attempted to mend fences by offering me $10,000 as a gesture of apology. Meanwhile, William had to make tough decisions regarding his relationship with his mother following her shocking act. Despite these challenges, our story continues as we navigate these complex family dynamics together. During the time I was planning my wedding, I had an increasingly uncomfortable experience with William's mom, Sophia. Initially, Sophia seemed genuinely thrilled about me joining the family, showering me with warmth and excitement. However, as we spent more time together, her attitude began to subtly shift, revealing a side of her that was judgmental and passive-aggressive. It all started one morning when she made a remark about my choice of breakfast, insinuating that I didn't care much about maintaining a healthy diet. This was just the beginning. As we went shopping for wedding decorations, Sophia dropped another comment about how a friend's daughter had lost weight for her wedding, looking stunning as a result, and suggested I might consider doing the same. I was taken aback by her implication but brushed it off, affirming my contentment with my body. Yet, these interactions left me feeling scrutinized and self-conscious. The situation escalated when Sophia, while rummaging through my kitchen, criticized the assortment of snacks I had, hinting that I should adopt a healthier lifestyle to avoid gaining weight before the wedding. It became clear that Sophia's comments were targeted and intentional, especially since she only made them when William wasn't around. In his presence, she was all smiles and compliments, creating a stark contrast to the criticism she levied at me in private. At first, I hesitated to discuss these issues with William, not wanting to stir conflict between him and his mother, especially during such a happy phase of our engagement. I convinced myself I could handle the situation, despite the discomfort it caused. I have always been proud of my body, confident in my skin, and wasn't about to let Sophia shake that confidence. However, Sophia's visits became more frequent, encroaching on the precious weekends I had dedicated to wedding planning. It seemed she was always there, ready to offer unsolicited advice and subtle digs. One weekend, when she planned another visit, I finally mustered the courage to tell her I needed space to manage my plans without her interference. Despite this, when I mentioned looking at wedding dresses, she invited herself along and I struggled to refuse without offending her. The shopping trip was as draining as I had anticipated. Sophia dominated the experience, picking out dresses that didn't appeal to me and critiquing the ones I liked, particularly commenting on how they fit my body. Each remark chipped away at my enthusiasm, and I ended the day without a dress, feeling deflated and overwhelmed by her presence. After that day, Sophia continued to press me about when I would go dress shopping again, but I was determined to keep my plans private. Unfortunately, William unintentionally informed her of my next shopping date, putting me in a difficult position. Sophia called, eager to join, and I faced a tough decision. Her relentless commentary on my body had already taken a toll, and the thought of enduring that again was daunting. I knew I had to find a way to assert my need for space, for the sake of my own peace of mind during this special time. Faced with the prospect of another taxing day of shopping with Sophia's criticisms shadowing my every choice, I felt compelled to find a way to go alone. In a moment of panic, I fabricated a story, telling Sophia that the bridal shop had a strict policy of allowing only 3 guests per bride, and that my mom and maid of honor were already accompanying me. Understandably, Sophia questioned the peculiar rule, pointing out how unlikely it sounded. I stumbled over my words, agreeing with her but insisting it was the shop's policy. I ended the call hastily, my heart pounding and a wave of guilt washing over me for lying to William's mom. Despite the guilt, I reminded myself that this day was meant to be joyful and exciting. My mom and maid of honor picked me up, and we set off for the bridal shop. Determined to make the most of it, I focused on enjoying the moment. That day, I found a dress that I absolutely adored, one that made all the previous stress seem worthwhile. After the shopping trip, Sophia's communication dwindled. She didn't call, text, or visit. She remained in touch with William, which relieved any potential tension, but her distance was palpable. I sent her a photo of me in my wedding dress, eager to share my excitement. She responded with just a thumbs-up emoji, leaving me unsure of her feelings but resolved not to let it dampen my spirits. With the wedding approaching, I was too busy with preparations to dwell on her reaction. The wedding day itself was a dream come true. The ceremony was beautiful, and as I walked down the aisle toward William, his expression was unforgettable. Our vows were heartfelt, and the reception began joyously with perfect weather, delicious food, and everyone enjoying themselves. Our first dance was magical, a testament to our love and the lessons we had taken. However, the night took an unexpected turn when I went to get a drink and found Sophia at the bar. Surprisingly cheerful, she offered to get me a Shirley Temple to help me relax and enjoy the night. I accepted, grateful for her apparent change of heart. Yet after a few sips, I felt unusually drowsy and soon collapsed, losing consciousness. Panic ensued as William called for an ambulance while I lay confused and fading in and out. When the MC arrived, they revived me and began asking about my intake for the day. I recounted everything, including the seemingly innocent Shirley Temple from Sophia. Concern grew when they inquired if I had consumed anything unusual or taken any medication. At that moment, Sophia, looking visibly remorseful, admitted she had added alcohol to my drink, thinking it would help me unwind. I was stunned by her revelation, upset that she would make such a decision without my consent. The situation escalated when my maid of honor, Ellie, informed the MPA about my anxiety medication, which could have had dangerous interactions with alcohol. The realization that Sophia's actions could have had severe consequences for my health was both shocking and sobering. This incident highlighted the underlying tensions and led to a significant conversation about boundaries and respect within our newly extended family. On my wedding day, I was understandably nervous, and to ease my anxiety, I took a small dose of my medication just before the ceremony. Little did I know, this decision would soon lead to a troubling situation. After the ceremony, during the reception, Sophia offered me a drink, which I later learned she had mixed with alcohol. The combination of the alcohol with my medication caused a severe reaction, and I collapsed. The MPs quickly arrived and explained the dangers of mixing alcohol with certain medications, emphasizing how fortunate I was that the incident wasn't more serious. The mood shifted drastically when William confronted his mother. His voice shook with anger as he demanded that she leave the reception immediately. Sophia was stunned and tried to apologize, claiming it was all a misunderstanding, but William was too upset to listen. It was heart-wrenching to see him so angry with his mother on what should have been a joyful day. The cheerful atmosphere we had carefully crafted for our wedding evaporated, and guests began to leave early, making the day feel even more tragic. William and I retreated to our hotel room, emotionally drained and trying to process the events that had unfolded. The sadness overwhelmed me. I had envisioned this day for so long, and it was ruined by what was supposed to be a harmless prank. Over the next few days, Sophia tried to reach out to us, but we needed space to think and heal. The incident created a rift, and William was deeply hurt. It was challenging to see him struggle with his feelings toward his mother, whom he loved yet was incredibly upset with. When we returned home from our honeymoon, which had been a wonderful respite from the drama, Sophia was waiting for us. My heart sank. She did not apologize, but instead tried to justify her actions, claiming she meant to lighten the mood. It was frustrating to hear her refuse to acknowledge the seriousness of her actions. William reached his limit. He firmly told Sophia that she had crossed a line and needed to own up to her mistake. He set clear boundaries, stating that their interactions would now be limited to holidays and special occasions, akin to distant relatives. Despite her tears, William stood by his decision, prioritizing my well-being and our relationship. It was a painful but necessary step to ensure that such an incident would never occur again, and to start healing from the unfortunate events that had overshadowed our wedding day. Yesterday at work, I received an unexpected call from Sophia, William's mom. She said she was outside my office, hoping to speak with me, which was surprising since we hadn't been in contact for a while. Concerned about causing a scene at work, I agreed to meet her at a nearby cafe instead. When I arrived, I found her visibly distressed, tears already streaming down her face, which drew some attention from others around us. Sophia explained that William had been ignoring her calls and messages, and she was desperate for me to intervene, hoping to restore their relationship to what it once was. However, she still hadn't apologized for her actions at our wedding actions that had deeply affected both William and me. She seemed to be in denial about the seriousness of what she had done. In our conversation, I made it clear that she needed to reflect on how her behavior had impacted us, particularly how it had ruined our wedding day. It wasn't fair for her to expect me to simply bridge the gap between her and William without acknowledging the hurt she caused. Sophia attempted to defend herself, claiming she hadn't intended any harm and expressed regret over my allergic reaction, yet it felt like a non-apology, one that didn't fully grasp the weight of her actions. As she continued to cry, the awkwardness in the cafe grew, and I felt increasingly uncomfortable. I told her I would see what I could do, but made no promises. I left the cafe still unsure about forgiving Sophia, especially since her apology seemed forced and insufficient. Later, reflecting on my mom's advice to forgive and move on, I remained conflicted. I shared my story online, seeking advice and support. The response was overwhelming, and it prompted me to have a serious conversation with William about the situation. I explained Sophia's visit and her apology, albeit how inadequate it was. I told him that, for the sake of moving forward, I was willing to somewhat forgive her, but we needed strict boundaries to prevent any further issues. William understood my position and reached out to Sophia, affirming that while we appreciated her apology, our relationship with her needed to change. He reiterated the need for privacy and boundaries, like no unexpected visits or excessive calls, to ensure our peace and stability. Sophia quickly responded, apologizing again and promising to respect our wishes and give us the space we needed. Despite her assurances, I felt a mix of relief and skepticism, knowing that maintaining these new boundaries would be crucial to avoiding past dramas. Now, as I try to focus on the positive aspects of our life together and the potential for a peaceful future, I remain cautiously optimistic, reminding myself of the importance of firm boundaries and open communication to protect our family's peace. Progress is being made, albeit slowly, and I appreciate everyone's patience and support. Some of you have inquired about my anxiety issues, and while I'm not ready to delve into details, I do want to clarify that my anxiety wasn't about doubts regarding William or our relationship. I've always known he was the right one for me. Rather, my anxiety stemmed from the immense pressure of planning our wedding. We had over 327 guests, and I was determined to ensure everything was perfect from the food and music to the decorations. The thought of any element falling short of my expectations was nerve-wracking. I wanted our wedding to be a memorable, joyous celebration for everyone involved. There's been a new development. Just last weekend, William received a call from Sophia inviting us to dinner at her place. She mentioned that it was crucial for us to come as it would help things return to normal after the past events. William consulted me and I agreed, thinking it might be her attempt at reconciliation. The dinner went smoothly at first, with Sophia welcoming us warmly. However, after we finished eating, she presented a surprising gesture that left me bewildered. Sophia approached us with a check for $10,000, apologizing for the disruptions at our wedding and expressing her desire to make amends. This was completely unexpected, and I felt uneasy about accepting such a significant amount of money. I politely declined the offer, suggesting that it was best to move forward without dwelling on the past. William supported my decision, affirming that while we appreciated her apology and gesture, mending our relationship would take more than just money. It required time, understanding, and a genuine effort to respect our boundaries and feelings. Sophia insisted on giving us money as a way to make amends for the wedding, even though we told her it wasn't necessary. She wouldn't take no for an answer and ended up slipping the check into my coat pocket. The gesture was forceful and unexpected, leaving William and me to feel even more uncomfortable as we departed from her house. On our way home, we discussed the situation, both feeling a mix of confusion and concern. Why would Sophia offer such a significant amount of money? It seemed unusual and raised questions about her true intentions. Was this genuine remorse, or was she trying to buy our forgiveness? We were left feeling unsettled by the ambiguity of her actions. Back home, William and I deliberated on how to handle the situation fairly and respectfully. We didn't want to hurt Sophia's feelings or dismiss her attempt to reconcile, yet we were uncomfortable with the idea of her monetary gesture making us feel obligated or bought off. We found ourselves in a dilemma, seeking the best way to move forward without compromising our values or the sincerity of her apology. We still have Sophia's check, untouched in our drawer, serving as a reminder of the complex emotions surrounding the incident. We're unsure what to do with it for now. Our relationship with Sophia has reached a sort of equilibrium. She's respecting the boundaries we set, which has significantly reduced the stress associated with our interactions. She no longer shows up unannounced or overwhelms us with messages and calls. It seems she's making a genuine effort to improve things, and that gives me some hope for our future dynamic. William and Sophia maintain regular phone contact, and their conversations have been positive, which reassures me about the state of their relationship. I also speak with Sophia occasionally. Our exchanges are polite and somewhat formal, but there's a mutual effort to maintain a friendly rapport. I don't foresee any major changes soon, and I'm optimistic that things will continue to improve gradually. My focus now is on the positive aspects of our life and moving forward with a hopeful outlook. I may check back in if there are any significant developments, but for now, I'm going to concentrate on enjoying life and all the progress we've made.